This is New Orleans!
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. We have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. It's game day. Shout out to the mighty Who That's in the Who Dat world, man. We coming at you early on game day, man. Who Dat to the fam as you get up on this fantastic Saturday for your second preseason game. We got two more remaining game day. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Start off this day by hitting the like button, the share button, hype the stream, hit the sub button as we press for 15 plus. We up in this thing, Big Q representing the nation, man. And listen, let's talk a little Saints, man. We seen the scrimmage that happened, a couple days ago with the Rams. Not as eventful as the Cowboys matchup, but we got a lot more productive stuff out of the matchup, which was good, man, to see as we match up against this Rams club. And it's going to be interesting. So in this episode, man, we're going to go over some stats and facts. I won't hold you long on this one. Later on, we'll have the actual live watch broadcast. I'm on the road, so I'll probably have to switch it up for you guys. But no, I'll still be in the building covering the matchup. But anyway, the Saints take on the Rams, man. And, we got this one, the preseason week 1 comparisons right here. As you can see, the Saints versus the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Rams versus KC. This is what it looked like in the first week of NFL action, of preseason action, actually, with the Saints losing and the Rams actually beating Kansas City in their matchup. You can see the stats right there. Points scored about the same. The allowance right there, a little difficult for the Rams. The Rams defense showed up in the game. You can see the total offense, 321 versus Saints, 277. 228 was the passing, not too much, a couple yards more than the Saints. But really, you look at the rushing stats, the Saints had 56 yards in that first preseason game, and the Rams had 93. Now, a big part of it is the Saints have to make sure they get on the plus side of winning the games. You can see the Saints did, force 2 turnovers, but gave up 1 as well. That was a Spencer Rattler fumble. So they have to kind of get back and kind of fix this thing. So we'll see how it all moves and shakes going forward, but we'll kind of bounce back to this stat momentarily. Now, the Saints versus Rams joint practice report, as you can see right here by Jeff Nowak, is the availability of the line. Now, Olave had a rest day, but Ruiz had a left leg situation that occurred with him. Jeremiah Wright finished at the right guard position. So Cesar Ruiz is banged up. We'll see how that works. Devaughn Vele had a strong middle field, couple of grabs in the passing attack against the Rams defense. So that was also a positive thing, the Saints getting off against the Rams defense. Bryce Lance had 2 red zone touchdowns on that scrimmage, and the pass protection was shaky. And that's something that we've seen in the Dallas matchup before the scuffles broke out, that the Cowboys was actually putting pressure on the Saints offensive line. Things just got out of hand in the matchup. So ultimately, we want to see the Saints kind of improve this situation. The offensive line, make sure everything's a lot better as the injuries kind of mount with the Saints. Like we having some stuff going on with this, with the offense, defense, the injuries. But we just got to kind of deal with it and keep it moving, man, best way we can. Of course, we look at the run game and the QB reps that occurred. The run blocking had a strong day. Travis Etienne, also Kendre Miller and Devaughn Vele, along with Chandler, were running with the ones. Kendre Miller looks sharp. He been hearing a lot of the criticism from me and other people. We need Kendre Miller, who's been dealing with an literal lunch buffet of injuries, to step up and handle business right now. With Elvin out for a month, we know that Devaughn Vele returning from a hamstring injury. He's in there, but really it's Audric Esme is another person that's missing. I think is going to be missing some time. Kendre Miller and Devaughn Vele will be called upon to step up and handle business. And, of course, Zach Wilson opened up with the 2s and 3s. So we'll see how all this looks going forward in the preseason matchup. And like I said, it's going to be interesting. Okay, we bounce to the Saints versus Rams. 20 storylines to watch out for the preseason week 2 matchup that's coming up. 20 items of interest. And like I said, I won't hold you guys long in this broadcast that we want to watch out for in this matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. And number one, as we get it broken up in categories, the QB and QB room and game ops, which means, number one with Shough, they managed the workload. Like I said before, Kellen Moore's strategy appears to be for this year is to use the scrimmages as a way for the ones to get reps, but not the preseason games. The preseason games are being used for full-out evaluation of the 2s on back. So you see 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s getting a full exhibition game of reps to determine what it looks like. And that's a little different because usually you'll put your 1s in there and give them time, but the 2s and the backups getting full reps in exhibition games. And that's very interesting to see. But it gives you a good look at your depth chart, to be honest with you, behind the 1s. Very interesting. So Shough has a managed workload. He's managed to kind of put together some interesting practices against the Rams and against the Cowboys. And practices, his reps, they got a lot of work in there. I know this past practice they had to cut it short for obvious reasons, but because of the injuries and stuff started to mount. But nonetheless, they did get some good works before that happened. Number 2, you see Zach Wilson with the QB2 push. We don't know who will start. I think Spencer Rattler. The word came out that Rattler will start with the 2s, from my understanding, coming up against the matchup against the Rams this afternoon. So we'll see how it all will look. But Wilson, after a solid week of preparation, the fact that he looked good in the preseason game, he's a veteran, had been in the league for a while now, and maybe the game's slowing down to the point where he could see it under Kellen Moore's offense, but he's giving Spencer Rattler a run for his money. So Rattler's response, this is Rattler, number 3, Rattler's response to the week number 1 is here now. So Spencer has to have a solid game, can't fumble, no interceptions, can't do all the dinky donkey. He's got to show people that he can actually push the ball and press the ball up the field to his wide receivers. Can Rattler look better in the second matchup, because everybody's looking, and it's a real QB2 battle. If Zach Wilson can put together another solid week of football, this could be pressing and interesting for Rattler in this matchup. Number 4, Kellen Moore, his road operation. Of course, the Saints are on the West Coast swing right now. They had the scrimmages against the Cowboys and the Rams, 2 physical scrimmages in the same week, meaning they sent their 1s down in the matchup, and rightfully so. We have a lot of guys that's kind of banged up right now. They need an opportunity to kind of get right before the start of the season. And when usually your 1s sit down, that pretty much means that you guys will be looking at the 2s, and I wouldn't be too alarmed. Like I said, remember last year Kellen Moore, did this thing where he went through the preseason, and when the preseason was over with, he made some releases, and then they picked up a bunch of guys via trade and free agency prior to the regular season starting. After people had players off teams, they picked up quite a few people. Asim Richards, Xavier Truss. They picked up Devaughn Vele. So they picked up a few guys. Remember, they traded for Lou Fortner. Do they do that this year? Quite possibly. If they see a need and from preseason, and they'll have a good opportunity to kind of definitely look over these teams, looking over the guys, because the way he's doing it with the twos, man, the way he's doing it with the twos is excellent. He putting the twos out there for full display. He get a good look at the third team guys as well, and some of these other guys. So they're getting a really good look about who can make the team, what they can do, and the guys are getting solid opportunities to impress the coaching staff. All right, let's go offensive line and running game, right? Number 5, Ruiz had an ankle watch now, so we dealing with an ankle with Cesar Ruiz. Going to be interesting, man, to see how we deal with that, because if Ruiz's ankle is longer than will be expected, a lot of people don't expect it to be bad, but he's dealing with an ankle issue. If he can't go, then you got guys like Will Sherman, you got Jeremiah Wright will have to step up. But when Ruiz's ankle issue happened, the Saints went with Jeremiah Wright at the right guard position, giving him an opportunity to get extra reps there. And people see him as potentially the future of the right guard position anyway. This could help him. Anytime your rookie guys can get in there and get reps, you're doing something positive. You're doing something positive anytime you can get there and get reps with the first team guys, build a momentum and chemistry with them, then you're doing good. Jeremiah Wright needs a lot of practice, and we'll see him in this afternoon's matchup against the Rams a lot. Okay, number 7, rebound from the 56 rush yard performance. The Saints running attack has to improve. Now, will it improve from the 56 yards? I think so, because you get Kendre Miller there, you get Devin Neal back. Those guys are healthy, Ty Chandler, and then they'll throw C.J. Donaldson in there. So I expect the Saints to definitely rush more than 56 yards in this game. They showed in the scrimmage game, especially against the Rams, that they showed a better running outing, because that's the biggest thing with the Saints, running the football, opening up the lanes for the running back, taking pressure off the quarterback so we can get into our bag, play action, whatever we need to do. We got to have the running attack. 56 yards last game was unacceptable, and that really hurt us in the second half because they couldn't work the clock, because they couldn't run the ball. And that was one of the telltale signs that how they lost the game. 18-0 run in the second half, take the game away from them. Got to improve. Number 8, you see right there, you see Richards there, and a tackle test. So we have a lot going on in terms of what we need to do to get better. Just open field tackle, better tackling. We've seen in the previous preseason matchup, we had too many missed tackles by the Saints players. Isaac Gidham was one guy getting shook out of his shoes. Guys was missing tackles. Got to do a better job of surefire tackling for the Saints' own defense coming up. Number 9, the interior pass rush, pro depth. We have to look at that because interiorly speaking, we've seen guys firing off, making plays. We've seen guys like Fadil Diggs. We've seen Michael Hellman. We've seen Garrett Nelson. Was that just a fluke? Could these guys consistently get sacks and pressure? Because that's a big thing the Saints waiting for. Cam Jordan still dealing with a hamstring issue. Tyree Wilson in practice, but can he take it to the game? We need to see more from the reserve guys. Fadil Diggs getting a lot of look. Hellman, Garrett Nelson, and others. We need more from those guys to see if they can step up and do this consistently. And then, of course, we go to the receiver battle with Jordan Tyson. His injury impact, him being out for at least 2 months. That means number 11, Barion Brown, has an expanded role. Barion Brown has an expanded role. We've seen what he's been doing in practice. His chemistry with the quarterback is big. His explosiveness, IQ for making plays up the field, and his versatility to be used all over the offense will be positive as well. So we have to watch out for that. Number 12, Bryce Lance. He had 2 touchdowns for the Saints in the Rams scrimmage matchup, and that screams for more live reps. So with guys, some of the quarterback, we know Chris Olave is not going to be there, so the quarterback has to find Bryce Lance. He has to be able to find Barion Brown. He has to be able to find other players as well, Bub Means, Kevin Austin Jr., guys like that to stretch the field to make things happen. So that's what 13 and 14 are representative of, because Kevin Austin Jr. is on the roster push and Bub Means looking to build consistently for people to believe. And remember, Bub Means is in the final year of his rookie contract with the Saints. Injuries have slowed them down severely. He has the speed, the size, and the physicality, runs decent routes. Does he make a name for himself in the wide receiver room? A lot of people think he does. A lot of people think he could possibly be that 5th wide receiver. And, of course, we kind of move over to the defense and the 20 storylines to watch for the preseason matchup. We know John Ridgeway had issues. Now it's a foot problem. Dallas Beanham has a medical situation going on. We know Caden Ellis was out getting rest. And then, of course, the secondary versus the Rams depth will be looked upon to see how the Saints will deal with the Rams up front. The defense, it's all on how Spencer Rattler deals with the pass rush. Even the backup guys from the Rams, they have some players on that team you have to watch out for. How did they deal with that? How did they deal with that? And our secondary, how does secondary deal with Ty Simpsons and the rest of those guys, the quarterbacks, to come out and try to test our secondary? So we'll be looking to see how the Saints, how they look in this preseason matchup. It's going to be interesting. Of course, number 19, August 30th, it's a cut deadline, just to put that out there, because it's almost here. We have, after this week, this preseason matchup is over with, the Saints come home, and this will be a big week because next week is the final preseason week for the black and gold. They will allow the team eventually, once the preseason game over with, coming into that following week, they'll be willing down. So we have, outside of this preseason game, basically brings a close. It's going to bring a close to the second week of preseason for the Saints and the official start of the final week of preseason as we get closer and closer to regular season, and it's on the way. So after that, we had some disciplinary action that occurred with this team. As you guys know, we had, after the scrimmage, the NFL fined the Saints. That's right. They actually did fine the black and gold. And, of course, Jerry Jones had something to say about it. He ain't liked the fact that they fined him. He would say, "Oh, I'm cool with it, but, you got to make sure you fine the players too, So I can't think he kind of wanted I think he kind of wanted them to kind of, I think he wanted them guys to be, old Jerry World, he wanted them to find the guys and not so much the team, because he didn't want to come up off that $500,000. So unfortunate for Jerry's world, but nonetheless, you're rich enough, you can afford it, old man. But anyway, let's get to it, man. I'm sorry, here, right here for the team. And this is the story right here. I'm trying to share for you guys right here. This is the story right here that the NFL Network covered. NFL fines Cowboys Saints $500,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct each. They got a meal out of both the Saints and the Cowboys, man, over the scrimmage. And here's NFL Network. NFL confirmed on Thursday that it fined the Cowboys and Saints organizations $500K after their multiple fights during a joint practice on Tuesday. The Cowboys and Saints each have been fined $500,000 for the action that took place at the joint practice between the teams earlier this week. The competition committee has made strong sportsmanship, including a joint practices, a point of emphasis over the past several years. All clubs were reminded by member prior to training camp for their responsibility in preventing unsportsmanlike behavior at joint practices that has been the potential to result in injury. Tuesday's practice was marred by multiple fights throughout the day, with the Cowboys coach Brian Schottenheimer and Saints head coach Kellen Moore at one point discussing potentially ending the session early. There's a discipline element to playing this football game, Schottenheimer said on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we do we didn't handle that very well today. The NFL sent a memo to teams in July stating that the coaches and players are held to highest of standards of professionalism and sportsmanship during the joint practices. This is reported by ESPN. The Saints held a joint practice with the Cowboys in Southern California ahead of their Saturday preseason game against the Rams. So the Cowboys play at Arizona on Saturday, week 2 preseason action. Now, outside of that, remember, we're not done with the Cowboys yet. We have to face off against the Cowboys in the final preseason game. So if you want to call it revenge or whatever you want to call it, nonetheless, we shall see the Cowboys sooner or later at one point in the final preseason matchup. So, we might be able to get, a laugh or two in there and kind of get back at them on the plus side of things. So it simply is what it is. But nonetheless, man, what do you guys think, man, as we kind of break down and look at the Saints and Rams preseason week comparison? This is the point. These are the numbers from both teams from week number 1 coming into this matchup. And as you can see, they're almost similar except for the fact that total offense numbers, the Rams offense was rolling over 300 yards versus the Saints 277. The passing attack, and that's total offense, by the way, the Saints passing attack altogether did a pretty decent job moving the ball. You can see the Rams did similar numbers. You can see a difference in the rushing stats, almost 100 yards rushing by the Rams, Saints 56. Total yards allowed 275. The Saints defense did better. The Rams joint defense gave up over 300 yards. You can see 189 through the air and allowed team to run for 125. The Saints gave up 157, which is good, but still allowed 118 rushing yards on them in the first matchup. Not going to cut it. They also forced 2 turnovers, plus 1 on the turnovers. They forced 2, gave up 1, they plus 1. Rams, no turnovers. So it's going to be interesting to see how can the Saints run the ball, number 1, stay healthy, number 2. How do they adjust to the Rams defense? How does the Saints defense adjust to the Rams offense with Simpson and these other guys over there? It's going to be a good test on preseason today to see how that's going to go. So after this game, we got one more preseason game and we get ready for the regular season, man. So things are happening fast, man. All right. So anyway, shout out to you guys. Thank you for listening early in the morning. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the show, hype us up. And shout out to the people that that sponsor the show and FanDuel. You can see right here the 2026-27 NFC South winners. The Bucks at plus 200, Saints plus 240, Falcons 310, and Carolina plus 330 on the numbers. You can see that right there at FanDuel. You can go over there and check out the sports book. They got all kind of stuff going on with bets. Man, listen, make you some money at FanDuel, man. They're a good sponsor of the show, and bet responsibly. So with that being said, fam, listen, it's going to be a wonderful day of action. I'll be popping up on the stream, man, on the recap. Like I said, I'm on the road, so I can't do my regular voice play-by-play, but we'll have something, a live watch going on the channel. So just support the stream, subscribe, and still chat, with the fam in here. And I'll pop up at the post game with the breakdown on what happened here with the Saints and the Rams. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all being in the stream. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. BQ representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, man, as we press forward. Preseason game 2, game day Saturday, man. Let's get this dub. With that being said, appreciate y'all listening and watching. I'm going to holler at y'all later on in the day. Much love, peace, and Who Dat to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, love you like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Hey, New Orleans. Hey, New Orleans. Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootetdaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.